So what do you do when your tomato plants are screaming to be fed? But yet it's so late into the season and you don't want to feed them anymore because they're overtaking the place. I could not even get down there. So I've had to come down here and cut the top of these plants off. Now, some of these are over 5 feet tall. It's like 5.5 feet tall, and I've cut them. And some of those up there I didn't cut because there's so many tomatoes on top that's gonna get sun scald. But I couldn't get in here. So they will get sun scald, a lot of them. But they're loaded down with tomatoes. There's so many leaves in here now, and I have cut leaves and cut leaves. I don't know if you can see all those tomatoes in there, but trust me, they are in here. It's hard for the camera to pick up how many tomatoes is in here because just the way it is. So it's screaming. I could look at my tomatoes and tell that they're saying, feed me. But I don't want to feed them anymore. It's too late into the season. It's way too late into the season. We're into June. And so what I'm doing is I'm cutting the tops off of these tomato plants that's loaded down with blooms, loaded down with tomatoes, and letting them put their own nutrients into the tomatoes that's already produced, because it needs it. It really does need it. And that's my secret, cutting the tops off. Now on top of that, the stink bugs are starting to roll in, and the tomatoes have literally fell over, so it exposed a lot of tomatoes. You see, I cut it off right there. It just, they were just rolling over, but it exposed a lot of tomatoes that's going to get sun scald. I know this camera is not even justifying the amount of tomatoes that's on here. Not on top of that, this plant, I found army worms. I believe it's army worms. And they will eat the leaves up. First of all, I found poop. And then I was like, oh, okay, where's the worm? Then I seen the leaves, and I cut those off. And see, it won't be long. There's some poop right there. It won't be long that these worms will overtake these tomatoes. That's why I always gather a lot of my tomatoes green and take them inside and ripen them up, and when they start to turn, because there's tons of tomatoes on here, and the worms and the stink bugs will get them. If they sting them, it will ruin the tomatoes. But I was surprised that these plants had grown, and that's, you know, that's over 5 feet tall, and those blooms right there won't be shaded out when it grows fruit. But it was overshadowed. They was just literally laying on top of one another, and I just couldn't get in here. So what am I going to do? What did I do? I went through here and I'm cutting the tops off, because these plants are growing like mad. They're blooming like mad, but the other tomatoes need some feeding, and it's too late into the season to be feeding now. Just cut the tops off so all those nutrients can go to the tomatoes that's already onto the bush. And it helps you to be able to see if you got an insect problem, and it's a win-win situation. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you on to the next video. Yep, so I'm gonna go down here, and I'm telling you, I could not even get through here. I had to like stoop down, kind of crawl, sort of not on my knees, but down very low to get through here. And I was like, oh God, it's too late in the season. There's so many tomatoes in there. So if you're having a problem with your plants saying they need nutrients, you're loaded down with tomatoes, you know you need nutrients to feed all those tomatoes, then just cut the tops off so you can tell your plant, put your nutrients back into the fruit that you've already produced. So these tomatoes right here will go into the house. I'm also noticing it starts getting those little marks up there. It's just getting late in the season. See you on to the next video.